Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Who are Manchester United's top 5 youth prospects? You've been asking us to do this for quite a while. Happy to do it, but I must say it's been one hell of a struggle because happily we have got a lot of good youth players coming through. Top 5 then, let's get to it. I'm sure some of you probably don't know who they are, so it's going to be interesting. Some of you I think will, and it's going to create debate in the comment section. In at number 5, Angel Gomez. Doesn't turn 16 until August, but the lad is a youth prodigy. He is going to be, if everything goes to plan, an absolute superb star of the future for Manchester United. As you can tell, he's 15. He's not 16 till August. He's a long way off the first team. He's probably at least 2 seasons off. So, you know, he's only going to be turning 18 in 2 years in August. At the moment, he's not physically developed. He's still quite small. However, what's his background? Well, he's Portuguese born. He's come over to England, obviously. He's actually played for England youth. And at the level he's playing with at Manchester United, he is the star player. He plays at a number 10. He's very good. He's sort of like got that continental thing. Obviously, being Portuguese helps, but born in Portugal. He's very good with both feet, but he's that sort of... The thing that stands out about him is he's quick, he can run with the ball, he can score goals, he can go past players, but it's his creativity, the eye of the needle passes, the ability to create opportunities where others can't. And for such a young player to be doing that at 15, he really does stand out for it, and he is a star of the future. And I sort of... I had a bit of a battle myself whether he should get in there ahead of some of the people who have been left out. But I wanted to get him in there so that you're all aware of the name if you aren't already, because he's one for the future, and certainly one if you watch some of the youth games next season, keep an eye out on him in the youth setup, because he's a very, very, very talented lad, and when he gets physically better, he's going to be even better. Talking about another youth player, this is somebody that a lot of you are excited about, signing from Feyenoord to Heath Chung, bought from Feyenoord. Van Gaal deserves the credit. You know, this is somebody that he brought into the club. Again, 16 at the moment. He's 17 in December. But what sort of player is he? Well, he can play on the wide left, or he can play up front. He's probably going to develop to play anywhere. Again, like Gomez, he's still quite lightweight, but he takes players on for fun. He scores a lot of goals, but if you've watched him, and I haven't seen him live, obviously I've only seen video clips of him, but he's got that balance on the ball that I dread to say it because it's unfair to say it, but that sort of Giggs' best sort of balance on the ball. But he's not as left-footed as what Giggs was. He can use his other foot quite efficiently. Loves to run at players. You know, he's one of them sort of players. From what I've seen of him, he's got the confidence to stop running with the ball and then go again at the same defender. He enjoys running at people, but he's very good at scoring goals as well. And again, I think like Gomez, he's a star in the making. And it's very unfair to say that about youth players at such a tender age. But he is somebody that, maybe not this season, it's probably going to be he's only 17 in December, like I say. So that's still too young to be involved in the first team setup. But next summer, we can start to see how he's come on in a year, which is great for watching the youth. I implore you all to do that. And again, another star for the future. Probably a little bit controversial because there's older players that I've left out, but he does get in. Number 3 for me, Callum Gribbin. Had a bit of a difficult season, had a few injuries. 1 or 2 question marks about his attitude from the youth setup, in the sense that he feels he should be getting first team opportunities now. No question, Salford lad. Would be absolutely superb if he can get anywhere near making it into the first team setup. He certainly has got the ability to do it. I think this season is huge for him because, as we said, he had a lot of injuries last year, sort of stops the flow a lot. Age-wise, and let me get this right, he's 18 in December, so still only 17, a year older than Chung. So and he's had a big impact in the youth setup. Very, very good with free kicks. Comfortable in a number of positions, in fact so much so that it's difficult to know where he's going to play, because he can play the number 10, he can play out wide, he can play in the midfield, some even say he could be a forward, but he runs at players for fun. He's been likened to Ryan Giggs, maybe just because he's from Manchester, but he runs past players for fun. He's got a very good free kick. He's an exciting player that not a lot of people will have heard that much about unless, again, you follow the youth setup. But he potentially, being 18 in December, could potentially force himself into the League Cup situation if we're going to go youth again, which I really hope we do, but definitely want to keep an eye out. I think it's a massive season for him. I think he definitely has the potential to go all the way, But I think these next year and a half are going to be absolutely huge for Callum. If he can stay injury free, if he can progress to that next level, if he can start to define what he is, whether he's going to be a number 10 or a midfielder or a more attacking, wider player, because he's got that ability to run past players. I really like the look of him. I know a few of you have mentioned him as well. A big season, and it's exciting. Manchester United's always been about the youth, and as I said a couple of minutes ago, I implore you to get involved, because we're getting into the top two now, but as you'll figure out, there's going to be three. And we have got some exciting players through. And remember, Rashford's not in my top 5 because I feel he's made it already. And some of the people like Pereira, who are still classed as youth, but they're not going to make it because they're sort of touching on the first team. So next then, number 2, and it is a joint award because I couldn't split them, and either of them could end up being centre-backs for Manchester United in the future years, because both of them have got stand-out qualities. We'll start off with Axel Tuanzebe. He has been involved in the first team a few times. I really like him. Likened to sort of like a young Rio Ferdinand, because he's got a great command of the game. He's obviously fairly tall, which helps as a centre-back. He's very fast. But his reading of the game stands out. His intelligence of the game stands out. He knows when to make a tackle. He knows when to hang back and not make a tackle. Positional sense superb. Reading of the game really good. The next player I'm going to talk about is Roshan Williams, but Tuanzebe has progressed a little bit further ahead of Roshan because he's 18. He is a little bit older. He was the youth side's captain. He's gone up into the under-21s, and he's taken to that like a duck to water. So he's only one step away from the first team now, and that's why he was getting involved under Van Gaal. And we talk about buying centre-backs, but we have got 2 very good, probably not ready yet centre-backs, but they need to be involved in it. Maybe go out for a loan, because especially in the case of Tuanzebe, who he's done the youth side, he's gone into the under-21s, which is basically our mix of reserves and youth players. He's done really well there as well. He's basically knocking on the door for the first team, and I think because he's got those sort of Rio Ferdinand qualities, as well as being quick and strong, he does need to develop a bit more physically, which he will do. I'd get him out on loan and see what he does, because I think he definitely is good enough to be a Manchester United centre-back. We've not really had anybody of his like since Wes Brown, so if he gets to that standard, he'd be a great squad player to have. Roshan Williams, a year younger. He's not. He's 17 at the moment. He's not 18 until September. The interesting thing about Roshan is his physical. You can just see in his physique at the moment that he's going to bulk out and get a lot more powerful. But the great thing about him is his pace. Is frightening. Darren Campbell, 200-metre runner in the Olympics for Great Britain in the past. Roshan broke his school record in the sprints. Not massively fast over the first 2 yards, but once he gets going, there's no Premier League striker that could live with him for pace, which is an absolutely fantastic thing to have coming through, because if he can develop the other things side of his game, like his man marking, his ability on the ball, and his strength, which will, that sort of pace is just a massive asset. I mean, it means we can play a higher line. I'm really excited about him, and he is somebody that's been mentioned, but I think it's so hard to split him and Tuanzebe, and that is exciting in itself, that we've got 2 potential centre-backs who could make it. If we get one, fantastic. We could end up with both. So really excited about those 2, and definitely do keep an eye on them. They share number 2 spot for me, because I couldn't split them. Really good youth players and really exciting. One's super fast and one is great positionally. They could, in fact, Roshan has moved up to the under-21s, because he could still be playing for the youth for another year because of his age. He's moved up, and he's sort of played with Phil Jones and Tuanzebe at that level against what is basically Premier League reserves, and he's not looked out of place. So the progression for these lads, who are basically 17, 18, is amazing. Number 1 for me, Timothy Fosu-Mensah. And the reason he gets it is because I know he's been involved in the first team, but you can't underestimate what a player he's going to be. And the fact is that he's only 18. He's 19 in January. And I know we've put Rashford in there, and Rashford could have easily made here, but I think you've got to remember that Fosu-Mensah is part of the youth setup. He is only 18, and he's going to... I've been saying it for quite a while about him. He reminds me of a sort of Michael Essien when he was decent, mixed with somebody like Torre who's good on the ball, who used to be good on the ball. This lad can be absolutely anything. I think he can be and will be a box-to-box midfielder of pure top world-class quality. I really do. I think he's powerful, I think he's strong, I think his positional sense probably needs a little bit of work because he's young, but he'll tackle anybody, he'll head against anybody, he's got a great engine, he's hard-working, and as I keep saying, he's only 18, he's turning 19 in a few months' time, but he's already, 3 or 4 months ago, played against Spurs and run, he had 2 games where he was man of the match. And he plays like a 25-year-old, and we've got him at the club. I know we let Pogba go and could get Pogba back, but this lad, we're not going to let him go, and he's gonna. There's just no way Mourinho is going to ignore him, because Mourinho loves that sort of Essien, Ramirez sort of player, and this lad can be better than both of them. So my number 1 is Jose Mourinho, and he does deserve to be in there. I know he's had first team opportunities, but his age, he's got to be number 1. But there are players that have been left out. Too many to mention. Some people, even you might not consider, could come up on the left and maybe do it themselves. But I hope you've enjoyed it. Number 5, Angel Gomez. Number 4, Heath Chung. Number 3, Callum Gribbin. The 2 centre-back lads, Roshan Williams and Axel Tuanzebe, are number 2. And Timothy Fosu Mensah, number 1. I've left players out. You can argue that Rashford should be in there, but I call him first team now anyway. We're very lucky, and I didn't have to go searching. There was a lot of names to pick from, which is exciting as well. Manchester United's always been about youth, and it still will be about youth. And the great thing is we've got some really good youth players coming through, which I think people forget, because people go, look at the facilities Man City have got, look at Chelsea's successful youth side that's done well. But the way we do things is a little bit different, but we always consistently produce players. And I think one of those 2 centre-backs will make it. I think Callum Gribbin, massive year ahead, keep an eye out on him. The other 2 lads, Chong and Gomez, are a couple of years away anyway. They need to develop. And obviously Fosu Mensah, I think he's going to have a massive season. Thanks for watching. Get commenting below. Give us your thoughts. Had you heard about these players? Are you excited about them? Do you disagree with what I've said? Are the players that you would have thrown in? Get commenting, give us your thoughts below. Also, if you're watching it on Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, we will be live tonight, me, Zara and Alex, and all of you on the live comments box, but it's 10 o'clock or after the Euros if it goes to extra time. Thanks for watching. Please do drop us a like. I know a lot of you wanted us to do this. I hope it's been informative. I hope you've enjoyed it. I did think about putting pictures up and everything like that, but you know what? I thought let's just have a chat about it and let me give you some information about why I've gone for these youth lads. And again, it's another exciting aspect of Manchester United, because we're not all about signings, we're not all about the first team, we're always massively about our youth as well, and it is very important. And I thank those people who emailed me and asked me to do the video about this, because it's the perfect time to do it, because we're going to get into pre-season games now, and it's important to highlight the youth, massive part of what we are. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the United Stand if you're new, and please drop the video a like I said, but get commenting and give us your thoughts, and I will be reading them, because I know some of you know about the youth and I know some of you will disagree, so I interestingly await your comments. Thanks for watching.